Hey there, welcome in. It's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I want to take a look at the energy of the upcoming week, which is August 17th through the 23rd, 2026. So, welcome in and thanks for being here. So, this is a week of integration as we are in between eclipses, and I'm wondering, what have you guys been noticing? Have you noticed any themes or patterns that have been revealing themselves? I feel like one of the collective themes that has been revealing itself from what I've been noticing is how can you live authentically and protect your peace? And also, who are you becoming at this phase? What is changing for you? Or what are you being prompted to change that maybe you haven't made the changes yet? Anyway, eclipses always bring in huge shifts, a lot of changes, a lot of things, a lot of energies die off, new energies come in. It's definitely a period of death and rebirth for sure. There's a lot of that around eclipse season. So, what I wanted to do before I look at the energy of this week is I wanted to just take a look at this integration and see what is being revealed at this time. Where are you facing some resistance with what's being changed and what's being embodied, or what is being asked to be embodied? And then we'll look at the energy of the week. So, as we are at the integration period, we're in between the solar eclipse and next week's lunar eclipse. What is being revealed? What is being revealed collectively? What is the resistance? What's being embodied or what's being asked to be embodied? Wow, very powerful. So, what's being revealed? What needs to change? Kind of expected that. You're being, it's kind of like being at a fork in the road. What direction are you being asked to go? And I can tell you, you probably will have a lot of resistance towards that. At least some people will. It's like the fear of the unknown. But it's pausing, taking a moment to reflect on where you've been, where you want to go, and what you need to do to get there. Where is the resistance? We've got the judgment card here. Um, Not being able to accept the change. Um, this could be seen as lack of awareness, but I don't feel that that's true. I feel like you are aware, whether you want to see it, um, whether you want to acknowledge that awareness or not is another story. I feel like that's where the resistance is. And I mean, that's totally, totally normal. What are we being asked to embody going forward? The high priestess. Beautiful energy, but challenging. The high priestess asks you to live from the inside out, to really look at what you value, what's important to you, and then bring that out into your everyday life. Living it's living wisdom. It's embodied wisdom. It's living from the heart. That's the easiest way to put it. Living from the heart. And if you are living from the heart, what needs to change in order for you to authentically live from the heart? What are you doing that is no longer in alignment with you? I mean, that could even be a job that at one time was a fantastic job, but it no longer represents your values, you know? So powerful, big changes. And you don't have to make all of the changes at one time. Pick something that you have the least resistance towards and start there. That's what I would say. All right, so that's really beautiful. I really like that. Challenging, but that's what we're here for. To not be stagnant, to get out of stagnant energy. You didn't come here to repeat a previous life. You didn't come here to be stagnant. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the energy for this week. So I want to look at the overall energy, the challenge, the gift, and then going to pull from this Between the Worlds Oracle deck for the advice. So overall energy this week for the collective watching this video. Overall energy for this week. I'm hoping this week is a little less packed. I feel like last week I had such a busy week. I don't feel like I've had time to breathe. So I'm hoping I have a little more space this week. All right. Okay, so 9 of Cups. I do really like this energy. I feel a couple of things here. Overall, I feel like this is a week where there's a lot of opportunity for joy, happiness, having fun, creating fun, making time for fun, doing something that really lights you up, that makes you really happy. I really like that. I do feel like you do have to plan for this though. Don't expect happiness, joy, and fun to just find you. I do feel like you're going to have to make room for that, but it feels like a really great week for that. I also feel like it will give you a lot of insight and clarity if you can make some time for fun. I'm hearing it's uprooting something. So it feels like if you can take time out to have fun, to connect with others or connect with yourself in a way that is creative, that is fun, it's going to help you excavate a challenge or excavate something that's been going on inside of you. Um, I don't know. It feels like it clears some space within. So, and I've noticed that I process things that way quite often. If I have a problem, if I stop thinking about the problem and I go and do something else, quite often I get a lot of insight on how to solve that problem or how to move forward when I'm not thinking about that problem. The other thing I would say with this card is there could be the potential if you are there could be so if you're not really planning anything and you're just kind of going with the flow, there could be the potential of overindulgence. Um, maybe, addictions could kick up this week, especially if you've had especially if this eclipse season has been particularly rough, you might seek comfort in addictions, unhealthy things. So just be aware of that. Let's look at the challenge. What's the challenge this week? I'm hearing the challenge this week is to have fun. Well, that's kind of always a challenge for me. I don't know if that's often a challenge for you guys. I sometimes feel like if I'm having fun, then I'm not being productive. Of course, that's like conditioning. Um, it's hard for me to relax. All right, what's the challenge? The collective challenge this week. I know for some, school is starting this week. So good luck to all of the kids, teachers, and parents out there. Yeah, the challenge this week, we've got the Four of Pentacles. So trying to control the stuff that you can't control. Trying to hold on to a way of being that is it's no longer, it's past. This could also quite simply be talking about going back to school, wanting to hold on to the summer, um hold on to that freedom, of not being in school. It could be something as simple as that. Um, it is Pentacles, so there could be concerns around money that come up this week. I do feel like a lot of this, though, is more, mental and emotional stuff rather than actual fact. I don't necessarily feel like this is saying you're going to have financial problems this week, but there could be fears of that coming up. I'm also just going back to the back to school. It's very expensive going back to school. Buying new clothes and shoes and everything that kids need, for that. I totally remember those days, and that was always very stressful as a mom. So you might be experiencing that as well. But I do feel like this is more, again, of like an emotional control or an intellectual trying to control or hold on to something that is, it's no longer. It's not a bad thing. What is the gift this week? Where do we find ease? Where can we find ease this week? What is the gift? What is the gift? Where do you find ease this week? And if you've liked this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. I would really love to grow this channel. So I appreciate that. All right, where can we find ease? We've got the Ten of Swords. We've got the Ten of Swords in reverse here. Letting go of resistance, going back to this card, it's letting go of resistance. It's allowing what is to be. You can't control other people. You can't you can control your response. That's really about it. If you have a lot of mental fortitude, you can control your thoughts, but even that isn't necessarily easy all the time. So let go of resistance, find the ease and flow. And I think the best way to do that this week is by finding joy, happiness, connecting with people that bring you a lot of joy, doing things that bring you joy. I think that's going to be the best way to move through this week and to help let go of resistance, let go of fear. Any of that. It does feel like the biggest challenge this week is trying to control the outcome of situations, trying to control other people, just that resistance. Have fun. Do things that make you happy, that bring you joy. And by you being happy and joyful, the energy that you put out into the world is going to lift other people up. All right, so advice and guidance. This Oracle deck is really fun. I've really enjoyed this deck. All right, so advice and guidance, final card for this week. Vertebra, card number 27. Let's see what it says in the book. And like I was saying in the last video, I don't remember what video that was. Maybe it was the August Energies that I used this book. She has little stories about how she came across each of these items. So she has little stories that go along with it. And I just think they're a lot of fun. Okay, so vertebra, support / collapse. The message is sometimes we receive external support, and other times we need to be our own support system. So that's the advice this week. And I do really feel that. I feel like this week you need to be your own support system. And I feel like that's why we're being guided to fill our cups, do things that help us feel less bogged down, more happy, joyful, connected to our hearts, connected to what brings us a lot of joy. That's how you're going to support yourself this week. And in doing that, you're also supporting others. So we have 7, 8, 9. Oh, how fun. I love it when it works like that. 8, 9, 10. Step-by-step process this week. One thing at a time. Take things one thing at a time. Don't plan too far ahead because I feel like that's going to increase that feeling of resistance. and the need for control. So day by day. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week. And I will talk to you real soon.